Hey there, Courtney here. I haven't been here in a long time, and I'm going to kind of tell you why. You'll have to forgive the glare in my glasses. I've gotten to where I just can't see at all without them. But we have had some real money challenges lately, and also just mental, kind of emotional challenges that have come up that are also tied to finances. And so that is going to cause us to change course a little bit. And I wanted to talk to you about that in hopes that my journey could help someone else. And so, first of all, I want to tell you what has come up. So, my husband and I own two businesses, actually three starting this year. I'm an author and I'm an independent yoga therapist. So I'm a 1099 worker. I have a couple of books, and I have just kind of random income, a regular income from a job that I do as a yoga therapist, about 20 hours a week. And my husband and I own a roofing company, which is primarily his. And then when we married, I started helping out. So our income's very wildly pretty much from year to year. And this year and this seems to happen every year to us, and it's really hard to predict. And I did not pay our quarterly taxes. I waited because last year we had an unexpected big tax bill, and I had to play catch up on that. We were building the cabin, and I got caught up, and I saved all the money that I thought we would owe for taxes so that I would have it in by the deadline to avoid a penalty. And the other day, literally on the Friday before Christmas, I got an email from my accountant saying that they had not projected appropriately, and instead of owing instead of owing $4,000 by January 15th, we owed $11,500. And yeah, it was a shocker. So that was literally all I had saved for our retirement account. And anyway, it's put a big damper on things. So a lot of our income going forward is going to have to catch us up on taxes and on getting our IRAs fully funded for the year of 2019 so we can get that deduction. So that has been a big hit. The other thing is my son moved to DC. I have 6 children, and 4 of them are mine, and 2 of them are my bonus children. And my son moved to DC, and we have a car that is in his name and my name, and he's paying a payment on it. And I let him do that because he's extremely responsible, but he doesn't need a car in DC. So I agreed to let him bring it back home to me, and I would drive it and sell my car. So we're kind of in that flip-flop period of I've got to sell my car. And the reason I'm choosing to keep his car is because it has far less mileage on it than my car. And it only has like 90,000, and mine has 140. And his car is a Honda and will last forever. And it's also it's an Acura. It's really, really nice. And we've had a lot of car trouble lately. My husband has had a lot of trouble with our work truck, and we've minimized driving it, but we've been trying to make it last. He needed new shocks, and I had to have CV axles, and then I have a disabled adult child who I have to help, who's had a lot of expenses moving. So we've had a lot of car trouble. We have had, and some of it's just maintenance because we have older cars, but it's kind of all hit us at once. And we have an emergency fund, and we're cash flowing all of this. But when you do that, sometimes it gets to where like there's just nothing extra. You're using up all your savings. About 2 weeks ago, my husband, on a Monday morning, he woke up and he was deaf in one ear and almost completely deaf in the other ear. He had a virus. I thought he was having a stroke or a brain tumor. It was a really horrible experience. But on the way to the hospital, my life just started kind of flashing before my eyes, thinking, my husband's either going to die or he's going to be disabled. And it was really bad. And I thought he was having a stroke. And I realized I had used all of our extra money. I had saved some, but I had used all of our extra money to pay on the house. And so we do make a 6-figure income, but it's low 6 figures. And I had spent 40,000 of that on paying down our house this year. And then we had spent another, we live really frugally, as you can tell. So we are in the low six figures. And so honestly, when I think about how much we have spent, our health insurance, my husband had 2 surgeries. We spent about 17,000 out of pocket on health insurance and medical this year. We have spent about 30 out of pocket on building that cabin. We have spent 40 on the house. And then we had to pay an $18,000 tax bill in January of last year, and $11,500. Well, I spent another $18,000. Like literally, we don't hardly live on anything, but that all those bills have been where all of our money has gone. So when I think about it, we probably live on about $30,000 a year, but we've had all these other expenses come up, and so it's been just really tough this year. And I have kind of had a change of heart about my journey to financial independence and how I'm going to handle that. And so I'm really glad I've had that now, but it's been a little discouraging. So one thing I'm doing is a lady I met through the financial independence group in a nearby city. We met at the library and we decided to meet once a month and invite other women, other people really, but so far it's women, and help them along the journey and help each other. It's just like a support group for people on the road to financial independence. So that's one thing I've started. The next thing is we have opened an S-Corp with our and please don't stop watching now. I'm not going to get in the boring details of tax law because I don't even know. But that should help us save on taxes. Our taxes will now be estimated on this year. They will be taken out monthly. And that's a little scary. And I've never done this before because our income can vary. Like we might make $10,000 in a month and nothing for 2 or 3 months. You know, this year we had some really big jobs that we would make a lot of money, and I would turn around and put on the principal of the house or pay taxes or whatever. And so now I'm going to have those taxes taken out every single month, and they're a lot. And I mean, don't feel sorry for me, but I will say, obviously, you know, you're like, oh, you're making 6 figures and you're complaining. My husband and I'm going to be real honest in this video, and I haven't always been upfront. When we met, we were both making like nothing. Like it was bad. We were both broke. We have built our incomes up, and when we got married about 2 years ago, we were both making around 35 to 50 because it varied on how much we work with our jobs. And then when we got married, we got hit with our insurance going. My husband's insurance was paid, mine was paid, and when we got married, I had to go on his, and that was $800 a month. And then we got hit with being in a much higher tax bracket, and it just kind of snowballed on us. So this year, you know, we were both making like 35 to 50. We averaged about 80 together, and now we're up to about 110. So I don't mind sharing that with you. But this year I'm going to have to really batten down the hatches. So no more projects on the farm other than what we already have going, and they have to be cash flowed. So we're rebuilding the barn, but my husband can do that slowly as we have a little extra money. We're not under any pressure to do that. The Airbnb, I will be renting that out to try to make extra money. I will not spend any of that money. I'm going to hold on to it until the accountant does our taxes each month. And when she tells me I can spend it, I will then put it in tax deferred retirement accounts, in a savings money market, and I will pay some on the house. So I'm kind of doing what I call the split. And that's something I do. It's a psychological trick when you're struggling, is if you have a bundle of money, like let's say some of you may be lower income, and I was there till I was in my mid 40s, where you're getting a tax return and you have all these things you need to pay. Maybe you want to take a vacation, you need to pay some debt, and you need to make repairs on your house. Well, instead of like putting it all on one thing, you would split it up. Like you would have your savings, your repairs, a vacation, and whatever else you were planning on, your debt. Where some people might pay all debt, and that would be fine, but you want to make sure you leave enough to take care of other things that are important. Because being debt free is important, and I have been for a long time. but the quality of life is important too as you go along the way, and having a cushion. Um, when I thought my husband might be disabled or dying the other day, the thought occurred to me like, I have saved enough money to get us through like 6 months, but if he's disabled, what are we going to do? Like, I'll lose the house, I'll lose everything because I will not have enough money to make it for very long. So I think a cash cushion is really important. The other thing I've been doing is credit card hacking, and I wanted to put this in the title because I was one of those Dave Ramsey people that had no credit card except for one for work that I used just when I was working. I paid it off every month, and I did that more for accounting reasons than anything. So we've been credit card hacking, and I have earned like 10 nights in a fancy hotel and probably about 4 airline tickets in total. And it is stressing me the frick out. I mean, to see a credit card bill every month, even though I have all that money sitting in checking, it stresses me out to see a credit card balance. So right now, I will tell you, for the past couple of months, I have about $3,700 in credit card bills and about $3,700 sitting in my checking account. And now that I've met all those quotas and I have all those miles, I am seriously thinking of not using credit cards anymore, except for one that I have recurring expenses on, because it is really stressing me out to have credit card balances. I may credit card hack again when we need some mileage or some points, but I just don't think I'm gonna. I don't know. It's been it's been hard in some ways, and the truth is we don't really travel that much. So yeah, so I don't know. The other thing is I already said this, I'm going to save in tax deferred accounts. So we're going to let any money we make build up in our business accounts, and any money that's left over, I'm going to ask the accountant first, because they're going to do our books monthly. We're changing from like every 6 months to monthly bookkeeping. I'm going to ask them, have we paid all of our taxes? And if they say yes, let's say that I have $10,000, we're going to take our paycheck out there every month first, but I'm going to take a portion of that money and I'm going to put it in tax deferred savings, IRA, 401k, HSA. And then so that way we're not taxed on that money. So let's say I put 5,000 in there. And then I might go and put less on the house than I normally would have. I might have gone and put 8,000 on the house because I was trying to get the house paid off in 3 years. But to be honest with you, I think I'm going to draw the house out for about 5 years to build my cash cushion. So tax deferred savings, building a cash cushion, and slowing down on paying off the house. I may even refinance the house at a lower rate. And we just have to get caught up on our personal stuff. So we were supposed to put $13,000 to in our tax deferred savings this year, and I have written a check for $5,000 of that. I've got to come up with another $8,000 by April 15th, and I have got to come up with $11,500, which we have enough to cover that right now. So everything we make going forward from now on out is going to go into our IRA over our normal daily expenses, and that is all going to be cut. So slowing down spending, stopping spending. Not that we're big spenders anyway, because we live super frugally, but one thing is my husband and I each have a what I would call a fun money or running money. So I had budgeted $350 a month a person for that. Now we both found that we could not spend $350 a month, and I started doing things like paying for my haircut. Today I got my tires rotated and my headlights cleaned, and it was $38, and I just paid cash because I'm like, I have all this cash, I'm not spending it. So I realized I probably don't need $50 a week for running money. So I asked my husband, I said, I don't need any running money this month. Do you? Because if you do, that's fine. He's like, no, I got $150 left. So we just decided not to take our running money, if you will. And that's just money that you're not accountable to anybody for. So last month, my husband found a brand new jacket on Marketplace, which is if you don't know what that is, like Craigslist, I guess, a brand new hunting jacket, and it was $50, and he wanted to buy it, so he did. So it's just you have this money, it's your allotted spending money, you're not accountable to anybody for it, if I wanted to go buy $100 worth of clothes, I could. And so, anyway, we're going to slow that down a little bit until we get all caught up. And then I'm going to start doing our tax deferred. I hope by April I can just go ahead and set up monthly withdrawals into the tax deferred savings. I will just have to wait and see how I feel about that. So that's all we have going on the financial independence journey. We are slowing down paying off the house. We are increasing the cash deferred or tax deferred savings and our money market savings, because I really want to have a couple of years of income, and I will tell you why. And so I want to share this with you just in case you are out there and kind of having a similar struggle. I have a disabled son. He's autistic. He's not going to get better. It's not like, oh, you're autistic, you're going to heal. But the government has to do a review constantly. It makes me a little crazy because it's like, really, government, you think my son's going to get better? He's like, he was born this way. So when we filed for, I realized I was one of those people who thought, oh, disability, like, oh, my kid's not going to be on disability. Yeah, you don't get services. Like, you can't get anything for them if they don't have it. So, and I don't mean just anything, like, I mean, they need extra health care. They may need to go into a special school. If your kid needs to be in a special school and you don't have disability, guess who has to pay for it? You do, and it's very expensive. So, and if you die, your kid is screwed. Sorry to be so blunt, but that, when I realized that, I was like, oh my God. So I tried to get him on disability, and they denied him. Okay, like, he's a level 2 autism, which means like he can't function in society without support. So now, I won't go into all of that, but I'm working on all the support systems and all of that, getting that in place. We're in Arkansas. It's the worst mental health care in the country. And what I realized was it took me 2 years to get his disability, and I had to go through hiring a lawyer and all of that. When I realized the other day that my husband could be disabled overnight, he does have cardiovascular disease, even though he's a health fanatic and he has some heart issues, and he's an athlete. I just thought, we need a cash cushion for at least 2 years living expenses, and not the tax deferred savings, not the savings, not the, everything above and beyond, just our living expenses, which probably is about $35,000 a year. So I am going to really work on getting my money market built up so that I have that tax deferred. I keep saying that. I'm sorry, I'm tired. I have that money saved up for security reasons. And then I'm going to try to reduce our taxes as well. I hope the S-Corp will do that. If you own a business that makes over $35,000 a year, you should really look into an S-Corp. And this is all new for us, so I'll be reporting along the way. Thank you for being here, for dealing with the glare in my glasses. I'm not a professional vlogger, but I have been blogging and vlogging for 13 years. If you want to see like my past work, I have a very prolific blog. If you'll just go to my website, you can find all my work. It's called frugallarian.com. Frugal, FRUGALARIAN.com, frugallarian.com. Thank you so much for being here. If you like this video, please subscribe, and have a great day. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.